What's up, guys? It's Aaron from iNutritionist, and today I'm going to go over carbs, okay? I went over proteins in my previous video, and I will go over fats in my next video. But today's about carbs because you've decided to go to the grocery store and you need to know what are good carbs and what are bad carbs. So we'll start off with the role. What does a carb do? Well, a carb provides energy for your body. Straight up, that's all it does. And contrary to a lot of popular diets nowadays, you need carbs to lose weight, okay? I know they have the Atkins diet and the South Beach diet, but those, yes, you'll lose weight on those, but you won't keep the weight off, because as soon as you go to eat one more carb in your life, the weight comes right back on. There are two types of carbs. There's complex carbs, which means that it is a long chain of sugar molecules. 3 or more simple sugars combine in a chain and make this complex chain, and when you eat it, it takes longer to digest, it keeps you satisfied longer, more sustainable energy, and that has a lot more fiber. I'll get into that in a sec. And then there are simple carbs. This is like your white bread, your sugars, your sodas, all that stuff that you would think is bad. Now, I'm not saying you can't have any of these things, but again, that's a different video to go over when you should be having those things. If you're doing your first grocery shopping thing, do not buy any simple sugars, okay? This is obviously less than 3 sugars per chain. They digest really quickly and they go straight to fat. And those sugars you're going to try and avoid as much as possible, unless you are bodybuilding, in which case you could do one after a post-workout type of meal. The benefits of complex carbs, because there aren't any real large benefits to simple carbs. The complex benefits: it aids weight loss, okay? It gives you a nice steady flow of energy to your body. It aids your digestive system. Now, here's where all that comes in. When you look at a food label, you will see fiber, you will see sugars, and under that, or above that, is carbs, and those are subgroups of what a carb actually is. You want to buy, at least for weight loss or healthy weight gain, you want to have a lot of fiber, because it's slower digesting, it's going to keep you less hungry, and it's going to keep you satisfied, and it's going to give you that nice flow of energy, and for a nicer amount of words, it's going to, aid your digestive system. It's going to clean your body out. I know sometimes you'll see on food labels soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber just means that when it hits the water in your digestive system, it spreads out and it takes longer to digest. Insoluble, it just doesn't do that, but it actually benefits the digestive system more. Both of them are fine as long as you're buying stuff that's high fiber. Now let's talk about labels. When you go to the grocery store, you see a bunch of bread in the aisles and you look at the label. A lot of it will say enriched wheat flour. If you see the word enriched, do not buy it, because enriched wheat flour just means that it was at one time white flour and it's been enriched to look like wheat flour. Okay. Either way, you need to buy something. If the only way you should be buying it is if it says whole grains. The word whole, W-H-O-L-E, whole grain, with a lot of fiber in it. The more fiber there is, the better. Obviously, there's going to be bread that has more calories because it has more fiber, because it has more carbs in it, because it is high fiber. If that's the case, go for it. Just make sure you are counting your calories, but make sure that any carb you buy is made with whole grains, not enriched wheat flour, not enriched white flour, but whole grains. That is very important for any kind of health, diet, exercise, whatever you're trying to do. Okay, that is very, very, very important. If you're trying to build lean muscle, if you're trying to get bigger, aim to do about 2 to 3 grams of carbs per body pound that you have. If you're trying to lose weight, I think you're going to be more in the 2 grams per pound range. And here's the thing with carbs is that because they provide quick energy, they burn faster than things like protein and fats. So what you got to aim to do is within 5 hours before your bedtime, do not ingest any carbs. I know that sounds hard. I know, you want to have a carb with dinner, or starch or whatever, but you cannot eat them right before you go to bed because your body, when it's at night and it's looking for something to burn off, if it's got it to burn off, it's going to burn off and it's going to go straight to fat. And that's just bumping heads with what you're trying to do. So make sure you're not eating carbs really late at night, right before you go to bed. Let's see here. Other forms of carbs or starches could be potatoes. It could be rice. Those types of things. Starchy vegetables like peas, corn. All those types of things. They're okay in moderation. Obviously, the skin of a potato has a lot of fiber in it, and it's good for you. So make sure if you are eating a potato, it does. You are. Try and portion it out. Don't get the big baked potato, but get the small one, about the size of a mouse almost, and try and use. I use 0-calorie Parquet butter spray, and I love it. Some of you, if you can't do that, fine. Buy low sodium salt. Try and find a substitute that's low in fat for your potato or for your vegetables or something like that. Obviously, we'll go over those. We'll go over fats in the next video. Vegetables are considered carbs at some point, some of them, and almost everything you buy except for pure raw protein has carbs in it, and you need to make sure that you are getting not only the right amount of carbs, but the carbs at the right time. So again, make sure 5 hours before bedtime. If your bedtime is 11 o'clock, no carbs after 6. That's straight up. It's going to kickstart your weight loss. It's going to make you, or your weight gain, whatever you're trying to do. Because, obviously nobody wants to gain fat. They want to build muscle if they're getting bigger. And the no carbs 5 hours before bedtime is definitely a strategy you should be using too. Make sure that you're buying whole grains. That's very, very, very important. Obviously, potatoes and stuff like that, the label isn't going to show you whole grains because it's a starch. A starch and a carb, they're the same thing. They've got the same chemical compounds in them, but when I think of a carb, I'm talking more about a bread or a grain. And a starch is more of a potato or a starchy vegetable or something like that. So make sure that you're picking out dark green vegetables. Obviously you want some color. Color provides the vitamins. So if you have green in like broccoli, and then you've got the orange and the carrots and the yellow and the corn and stuff like that, you're adding the color. You're getting all your vitamins and stuff like that. Make sure the potatoes, sweet potatoes, they have a lot of sugar in them, which is a carb, but they are also higher in fiber. They've got more vitamins in them. You can think about that as a substitute sometimes, and make sure whatever you're putting on them is low in fat. And again, whole grains. That's very important. I don't know how much more I can stress that. Whole grains, nothing enriched. Okay, that is the one rule that you need to follow. Thanks for watching, guys. The next video is fats, and I will see you guys next time.